Got to get rid of that. Damn it. Already a mistake, already a design flaw. Welcome in to the Tuesday night edition of the Radio Misfits with me, Pugs Moran, D. James Parker. There he is. There he is. And of course, welcoming back for the first time in quite a few days, it's E.
Hey.
Look at this. We got a full boat today for Radio Misfits every Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The three of us, we get together, we chop it up, and we hopefully make an impression on your life. Hi, James. How are you? You got your representing there. You're representing your Houston Texans.
Yes, they just give these shirts out. If you go to Houston, like when you exit the freeway, they just throw them at you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the team won one game, or I think last year or something, weren't they? Didn't they have like the worst record or something? Besides,
that would be my Bears, and we got.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot all about that. I forgot y'all were the absolute worst team possible in professional football last year. My bad.
We thank you for that, sir. We're looking pretty good, and we've reaped the benefits of that. E, how are you? How have you? How's your son? Your son, I understand. Yesterday, I was bragging on you a little bit. I understand we've got got an award-winning offensive or defensive lineman.
Yeah, he actually ended his camp today, and happy to say he actually got another award today.
Another one. Cool. What did he get? Yeah. What did our boy get?
All right. OLDL MVP.
Wow.
How about that?
And this is the UNT football camp, so there's probably like 100 kids there.
Yeah, 200? There's his group was 7 to 11, and he's 11, and I would say there was probably about 80 kids like in his, and then there was 12 and 13-year-olds, and then 14 to 18-year-olds. There were 3 kids from China, kid from Hawaii, kids from Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Hold on a second. Hold on, E.
I have a problem with the China kids.
Hold on, James. As was reported on the High Noon Show today, the head baseball coach at Northwestern University is under fire because he erroneously referred to an Asian ball player as that China kid. So Asian. The kid turned out not to be a Chinese kid. The coach was just like, that Chinese kid, get that Chinese kid.
No, these people said they were from China.
Okay, we just have to be absolutely sure because apparently that's a fireable these days.
They had approved, evidently, or they've started American football over there in China. And this dad and mom came over, and they brought over one kid that was their son, and then 2 other kids that were not their son, and there were 3 of them. And that's, Dom was saying, Dad, they don't even understand English, and so it was kind of interesting.
They understand the American dollar, though. How about that, James? Them's ain't the typical Chinese, the impoverished people under the thumb of the communist regime that we hear about. These are the communist or the Chinese class of people who get to come to North Texas because their son has an interest in football. Not exactly the Uyghurs we're talking about here.
No, and this sounds so delicious to the free market capitalist pig inside of me, because this is how we win. It's not going to be by a war. There's not going to be any army that's going to invade the shores of China or California or whatever. We're going to win these people over because we're just cooler, man. They're paying LeBron millions of dollars to sell his shoes over there. Who are we buying shoes from that's a Chinese national?
No.
0 people, right? So this is how we win over the world. We give Hollywood a lot of crap, but, their movies and their influence has made the rest of the world think America's pretty cool on the ground. Our governments don't necessarily get along, but as people groups, this adds to the cool factor. I like it. I like it a lot. And you see, they are wanting to adopt some of our sporting events. Cool. Please adopt it, because I can't wait for football to be in the Olympics. And what we need for football to be in the Olympics is a few more countries to adopt it. And you know what? If China is going to be cool and reach out and start adopting some of our cultural ways of life, I think this is a beautiful olive branch. And, and I'm not overstating this. These are the paths to peace between two conflicting cultures and nations, and this is a bigger deal than just a football game.
No, I'm just more fascinated with. I wonder what the parents do. Like what are the parents like? Are they like high-ranking communist officials? Like, how are these
Well, I don't. I'm not necessarily sure they were from
billionaires?
China, communist China. They could have been from the part of China
Hong
that's
Kong,
the Hong Kong area. Yeah, I mean, I think that to me seemed more their mannerisms and stuff. They seemed somewhat like
Tell me
You,
about
you
that.
can tell the difference. between
no,
Taiwanese
but
and
I
the-
mean they seemed more in like they had NBA socks on, they had brands on. Like to me, it seemed like that they were very much branded. Where
They were westernized. They
I
had a
I
West.
I didn't see that yeah, on TV. At least you don't see that portrayed that way
No, no.
in communist China.
You see them all wearing the same outfits with the same haircut. And they all walk in single file.
But when I went to Hong Kong, and I've been to Hong Kong, when I went to Hong Kong, it was very much like a regular city. And so I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm grasping.
It's one of the wealthiest cities on the planet. I just did the list the other day. Hong Kong was like number 5 or something. Was Hong
I
Kong
mean, what was
4?
crazy that I can remember about Hong Kong was like walking down the streets and seeing all these watches and gold and like jewelry stores in the window, like with hundreds and millions of dollars worth of stuff just right there in like plain day. I mean, it was impressive. Like I hadn't seen anything like that.
Where's the place that's like Vegas, where it's like they say if you
Macau.
Macau, that's it. Yeah, they say if you have any memories of Macau, were you really even in Macau? That's kind of how I imagine Hong Kong with E. How do you remember anything about Hong Kong? Because I can't imagine you were there merging 2 tech firms. Like
No. I went. I remember going to the races. Like I went to the horse race track, and the amount of money that they bet on the horses, it really is an elite class, and the amount of money that's wagered on the horses was just crazy. What else did we do?
Yeah, they're a gambling culture.
Yeah, well, I was there for the New Year's, so it was kind of a crazy because Chinese New, but they still celebrate New Year's there. Yeah, it just the buildings were really close. Like I remember that, like you could like literally, it felt like you could reach out and almost shake hands with your neighbor, and then the scaffolding was all bamboo, like so it was like that's how they would scale up a building.
Yeah.
And like the elevator would stop on these very small plated floors, like the floor plates, and that would be a house. Like so, the elevator would get out, and that would be your flat
No
around, and
regulations
then it
or
would
anything
go up.
getting in the way. Just a rickety old house on top of a phone pole. All right, guys, we got a lot to get to today. It's the first time we've been together. I've got a whole bunch of things we could jump into right away. Let me give you some selections, if you don't mind. James, we've got a follow-up on Jonah Hill being a douchebag. We can talk about that. E, we now have what is believed to be a moment-by-moment description of the final 71 seconds of the people on board that Titan II submarine that imploded. 71 seconds, they say, they had to die, and they knew they were going to die. We can talk about that. I've got a new game that I thought maybe if we had time for, a game called People Gonna People, where we just watch some videos, and then James and E, you tell me what's going on with these people. And then, of course, close out the show, as always, I got my Who's Is Bigger segment. Any of those sound of interest, or you got something better you want to jump in front of the line?
No, I like the anything that overlaps with just the general discussion of mortality is good.
Ooh, okay. So that sounds like a vote for the Ocean Gate story. E,
Yes.
You want to hear how they spent their final 71 seconds?
Sure.
Oh, geez. Okay. This is not really the one you wanted to hit the ground running with, because
no, I did. Listen, I'm sorry to be a drag here, but I'm kind of in a morbid state right now. My wife's grandmother just got sent to hospice, so she has, days left. But this isn't some far off distant grandmother. She stayed with us for like a month. Remember when she was staying with us? This immigrant lady.
Oh, that's that old lady?
Yeah, she's like 93.
Yeah.
and she was a regular, like every day. She watched our kids for a minute when I was at the radio station, and my wife actually had like a real corporate job. She babysitted our kids for like 4 years of their. Yes.
You use the youth term in a minute. You said she babysat my kids for a minute. I need someone to explain to me, is that used to denote a very short period of time or a long period of time? Because it seems to me a minute is a short period of time. James, can you help
No, I know, and I almost regret adopting this into my lexicon because it is misleading, but it means for a long time. It's
a minute?
sarcastic, like when you call someone tiny, or like a big guy tiny, or when you say Michael Jackson's bad, that means good. Yeah,
So when I say to somebody, "Hey, where you been? It's been a minute," that means I haven't seen you in a long time.
yeah. And so when I was in New Orleans, both of her grandparents were alive, and they were in their 80s then. And I had I have 4 kids, and they were all born within a 5-year span. And so for about 3 years, she would come over every day. Well, I would have to leave to go to work at like noon.
Yeah.
My wife would get home from work at like 5:15. And so she would come and she would show up around noon. I would get to go to work. And so for 3, 4 years, she was the primary caretaker of our children. So she's really close. So she's like my wife's grandmother and also our nanny for a few years.
So what's the over under?
Over under what?
How much time she got? She's been moved into hospice.
Days.
Days? Well, over under 7. We got a week.
Yeah, I haven't been that involved with the conversations, but the gist I get, it's probably around a week or 2.
Oh, geez. Well,
Oh, sorry about that. That's
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not so much of a tragedy when
Right.
you
Not your blood.
she's literally 93. Well, I'm blood.
She's a babysitter. She's a babysitter who means something to someone you care a lot about. That's what she is. Let's be honest. She was a babysitter who lived in your house. She means a great deal to someone you care an awful lot about.
Well, since her husband died, she has abandoned her home and just gone and lived with different people for a month at a time. And she's lived with us for a month at a time, probably 4 different times over the last couple of years.
Well, okay, this isn't going to pick us up because the story of the Titan submarine, the Ocean Gate vessel that went down to visit the Titanic and imploded, killing everyone on board. I think, well, I don't know. I'm speaking for you guys. I always thought it was instantaneous. Yeah, E?
I'm still lingering on the babysitter comment. That's settled wrong. She's more than a babysitter.
He said she watched their kids. Said she watched their kids for
Yeah, but like a related babysitter.
Not to him.
No, it really is more than a babysitter. And if it came across as like I was minimizing her role, that's totally wrong, and I did a bad job. And thank you for pointing it out. No, she's much more than that. She was her husband was the patriarch of the family for sure, but he died a couple of years ago, and she's been in the de facto role. But
She got money?
No, hell no. But
a patriarch, that sounded fancy. Like maybe
well, no, they had enough money that they never ran out of money, and they were able to maintain their standard of living into the 90s. And they probably do have some money that's going to be left over, but it's getting split up between 8 kids and I think 32 grandchildren. So no, there's not any money coming our way for sure.
Christians.
Huh?
Christians.
Again, why does that matter?
The point is, we're not interested for her money. There is no
I'm just
money.
wondering. I'm just, just trying to see why you pretend to care about something.
Her mom was the legit patriarch, or I'm sorry, matriarch of the for real family that controls my wife, her mom, and her mom's entire world. So someday I'm going to miss this show, and you're going to be like, "Where you at?" Well, I'm in Mexico. Why? Well, we had some family event, and I had to go because that happens. So
it's going to be a big secret, or are you going to actually say somebody died? I don't understand why you were just being so cagey about it.
No, it won't be a secret. It's just not something I have control over.
I don't look forward to that, and I hope for many more of these shows.
No, it's great, dude. Going to Mexico is sweet. Have you ever gone to for real down south Mexico and just stayed with family, not at a resort or anything?
What do you mean, like over the border? Not
no,
like
I mean Merida. Merida is where her family's from, and where they have a home base.
Suburban Mexico? I ain't going to suburban Mexico. Are you insane?
What do you mean? Anywhere in Mexico is real Mexico. What are you talking about?
No, I'm going to resorts.
Well, no, well,
You go anywhere you need a passport, that counts as Mexico. There's no other version of it.
right, but in my world, remember, I'm just a bumpkin. I'm a myopic bumpkin from nowhere, Texas. And for me, fake Mexico is when I was a kid. Both of my parents went to high school in El Paso, and I had family over there, and we would walk across the border to Juarez, and it was like going to a resort. It's like where it looked like where you landed when you went on a cruise ship, and it stops in Cozumel or Punta Cana
Okay,
or
so there you
whatever.
go.
You mean all of Mexico doesn't look like that?
Oh
So-
my God, no!
You're telling me that you think Juarez and like Cozumel are the same thing? There's two Mexicos, man.
I'm telling you, I've never been to Juarez.
Yeah, me neither. This is, I think, we're
But my concept for travel to Mexico is anywhere I go that I need a passport to be, that counts as going to Mexico.
That's fair. I mean, from his point of view, that's exactly what Mexico is.
So I don't know about the rest of you, but I believed that this thing imploded very quickly and that these lives were all lost in the blink of an eye. That's what we were kind of led to believe. Am I wrong in that, James?
I thought it was like a Coke
Just said
can under
71
a
seconds.
car, just right.
Yeah.
So 71 seconds is a shock to me.
And,
I
and,
thought it was like 2.
and that felt really good in the hours after learning that this had happened because, we weren't
Nobody suffered.
right. You know what I mean? We felt good. It was like, okay, well, at least it had happened quickly and all that. E, what was your understanding of how they perished?
Well, I thought initially that they perished and they were like disintegrated because of the pressure, the
Pretty
amount of
quick,
pressure that hit.
Pretty quick though, right? Like over before.
Oh yeah, it would have been like they would have not known what happened to
That's
them.
okay,
Like
now
was
that's-
my understanding.
Right, that is key. So that's what
But
I
it changed. It changed before I heard any other news when I saw them bringing the wreckage out.
Yeah.
And the wreckage was in such large pieces.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, wait a minute here."
Oh,
And I almost in my mind thought the demise was the actual glass that was cracking.
James,
I didn't see the wreckage footage. What did I miss?
just chunks of twisted metal.
But it was bigger than we thought.
Yeah, it didn't like disintegrate. Like I went to bed that night going, everything disintegrated. No, it broke.
I don't think it disintegrated. It would theoretically, it would just crunch like a Dr.
Did
Pepper.
not look like that.
Nope. Yeah.
Nope.
No,
So
it didn't look anyway. All right, so let me tell you about what exactly happened. The 5 people who perished aboard the Ocean Gate submersible were likely aware of the impending implosion between 48 and 71 seconds before it occurred. Okay, so first of all, 71 seconds is a long time to know that you are instantly going to be imploded, right?
48 seconds is a long time. Best case scenario is 48 seconds. That's still a long time.
Any level of awareness of this is a long time.
Are you aware or are you just going, "Oh my God, what is that? What's going on?"
Listen, if you're in that thing and like you see like a little trickle
Spider.
of water just shoot across the bow, you're like, oh, we're dead. We're just-
5,000. They were 5,500 feet below the surface when the problem
a
started.
mile. That's a mile, bro. You're a mile underwater. You're not swimming to the top. That's for damn.
Well, you're taking a really big breath before you're like anticipating. You go,
No, that's not advice.
no.
You might as well just, I don't know, try and
Here we
make
go.
out with the person next to you because y'all are dead.
Do they not have air tanks? Like they have no scuba? Well, no,
It
because they were
doesn't
bolted
matter.
in. Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing. All right, come on. Let me get to the details here because they are grisly. Let's see here. All right, so a timeline of the doomed Titan's final moments before it was destroyed June 18th, less than 2 hours into its dive to the Titanic shipwreck. During the controlled immersion of the Titan, there must have been an electrical fault. This is what they believe, that at some point it fritzed out while it was making its way down. During the controlled immersion of the Titan, there must have been an electrical fault, which left the craft without thrust. All right, so what they believe happened was, as it was descending, going all the way down to the depth of the floor of the ocean, it had a bzzz, and it fritzed out, and the propeller stopped, and it just started sinking. And because they were all loaded towards the front, because that's where the viewing window was, it basically nosedived without any thrust and just slowly began spiraling to the bottom of the ocean. All right, here we go. During the controlled immersion of the Titan, there must have been an electrical fault which caused the craft to lose thrust. Without thrust, the weight of the passengers and the pilot, which was focused on the front end close to the viewport, would have disrupted the Titan's longitudinal stability, which means it would have nosedived. It would have, instead of making a quiet descent, it would have just basically like something falling out of the air.
All right. So all electricity went out?
Yep.
Okay, so they're in
lost all
pitch
control.
black. The window means nothing, and there is no sunlight that reaches that deep. They're in what's called the midnight zone, right?
They are in pitch black. Yes,
Right.
that's what they. It would have been complete darkness. He said he believes the deadly malfunction occurred at a depth of about 550 feet. At this point, the submersible
550 feet or 5,000?
Yeah.
5,500 feet. I'm
Okay.
sorry. 5,500 feet is where the first problems began. That's where the electricity went out. At this point, the submersible begins to fall headlong towards the seafloor. And with control and safety functions damaged, it can no longer be maneuvered. The pilot couldn't activate the emergency lever to drop weights and thus return to the surface, the expert said, because the electricity had fritzed out the entire system, adding that the lever was also an inadequate device for such an emergency. So remember, this thing was like built in a garage with like a Nintendo platform and joystick and stuff. You saw like,
Yeah, it had the PlayStation remote.
yeah, it was absolutely horrific. Let's see. It says here,
So it essentially had like a parking brake to get rid of the ballasts.
right, and it would have supposedly sent it back up to the top. Here, James, I got some pictures here for you. You said you didn't see it. Here's some pictures of the wreckage as it came out. Oh boy, we're gonna lose. There we go. Nice. Oops, it says something went wrong, but nothing did. All right, James, let me see here. All right, so here, like, there's some big chunks of it right there, James. I don't know if you can see that.
I can.
Oh,
All right, that's not what I expected.
hold on. Big
I'm
chunk.
sorry, guys. I hadn't seen any of this, but I hope no one else or some other people are finding this out for the first time. Okay, so yeah, it was in kind of a crunch Coke can. That's surprising that there's a big.
No, but you see how like the sides are intact and they're rolled. They're not like cratered.
Right. The only part that would need to be cratered was the part that had the air in it. The rest of it wouldn't be cratered. But I don't know. I kind of expected it to be in pieces, maybe, and
Right,
not maybe all
smaller.
yeah.
So the power goes out. The electrical issue occurs at 5,500 feet. They lose all control of it. They're in total darkness, and now they are top heavy. So they are dropping, as it's described here, like an arrow vertically, with 800 pounds of added force because of where they're all positioned in it. 800 pounds of passengers that were at the porthole unbalanced the submersible, causing it to sink faster. Everyone rushes and crowds on top of each other. Imagine the horror, the fear, and the agony. It had to be like a horror movie, adds the expert, who believes that everything happened during 48 to 71 seconds of free fall to the ocean's floor. During that time, the group was aware of the seriousness of the situation, he said. In that period of time, they are realizing everything, and what's more, in complete darkness. It's difficult to get an idea of what they experienced in those moments. As it fell to the depths of the ocean, the hull would have been subjected to a sudden increase in underwater pressure, leading to a powerful compression of the sub's carbon fiber hull at a depth of around 9,000 feet. The rapid contraction of the hull would have been out of step with what was happening to the acrylic material of the viewport, leading to a microfissure and implosion. After those 48 seconds or a minute, the implosion and instantaneous sudden death occurs. Ta-da! Okay, so there you go. That's how they died.
Man, 48 seconds of hell.
48 seconds of complete darkness.
Yeah, a lot of them could have passed out.
Here's hoping. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like he can't say with any certainty that that's what happened.
I think
He can assume how things might have went, but Like you could have, when it fell over, or somebody fell on you, you could have knocked your head out. One of them could have been knocked out. Hell, the son could have choked the dad out and said, "You dumb SOB. If not for you, I wouldn't be down here right now."
Of course, those things could have happened, but this is an expert who is describing what they believe the engineering mistake was, or the flaw, what caused it, and then what would have happened with them. Go ahead, James.
Is anyone else surprised that they don't have some sort of backup plan? I guess it would be like the underwater version of a parachute where you just hit a button and like an airbag pops out. But instead of popping out from your steering wheel, it pops out from the top of the sub and brings it to the top. There's not like an emergency button you could just hit that just takes you to the top.
Well, somehow when you drop the ballast, that was supposed to happen with the sub because there's air contained inside there. And so when they drop the ballast, the sub, it's supposed to float up. But I guess they never got rid of the ballast.
Well, look,
because they had the parking brake kind of handle.
Right. So Byron's saying we were told the ballasts were dropped. Did that not happen?
Yeah, that's what we were told, but it sounds like this guy's saying that never happened. And so I don't know why he's got better information, but I do remember the guy that was building it said that the reason he liked this really thick acrylic was because it took some time to crack. And it sounds like this guy's saying exactly that happened. The acrylic fissured, which is basically a way of saying it had cracks.
Right.
So I think there's a YouTube video of this guy.
Oh yeah, where's
actually in front of the nose cone,
yeah,
talking about how he used this big thick acrylic because it took some time to crack.
And he's a lawbreaker. People said he was crazy for using it, but he breaks the rules. That was the video you're talking about where he's bragging about people.
But they actually showed it cracking, which I think now is eerie given this guy's explanation. Because that's the guy that would have told you, oh, yep, it takes some time, about just a little over a minute, and we're going to be done.
All right. Anything else on this? James, you got anything you want to jump in with tonight? Or, I didn't mention, but I do have the top 10 selling NFL jerseys for the month heading into training camp.
Let's do the jerseys, and then let's do who's bigger.
Well, who's bigger? We're going to run out of time. All right. So, guys, I got the top 10. These are the top 10. This is a big month here because it's heading into training camp. People are getting excited. So, they like to start out. This is where the year of jersey sales begins. So we've got the top 10 NFL jersey sales heading into training camp month. Anyone want to guess who number one is?
I do.
James, who is the number one jersey?
Judging by what's going on out here in Bug Tussle, Patrick Mahomes is the number one jersey I see around here, bar none. I mean, Dak Prescott's pretty close in second. But on top of that, for those of you who don't know, where I'm really at is in a suburb of Tyler, and the next suburb over is called White House, and that's where Patrick Mahomes from. And I am starting a new proposal that we rename White House because it looks like 6,000 people. Who gives a rip?
Mahomes?
No. Mahometown.
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that genius? Because his name's Mahomes, so Mahometown. So it also sounds like my hometown. It's
James says Patrick Mahomes. Do you have a guess for who the number one selling jersey in the NFL heading into this season is?
I only would vote with my heart for Josh Allen.
Josh Allen?
That's a trash homer call that is not based in reality. It only in your affiliation to Buffalo. You can make the same accusation of me and you'd only be half correct because my dude actually wins Super Bowls.
James says Patrick Mahomes is the number one selling jersey in the NFL. E says his boy, Josh Allen. You're both wrong, which is why this is very interesting. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the number one selling jersey in the NFL right now, boys. Knowing that Jalen Hurts is number one, James, you have a guess on number two. Who do you think is the second best-selling jersey in the NFL?
Well, I guess it's not Patrick Mahomes.
Why couldn't it be?
Oh, okay. Well, if it could be, then I'd guess Patrick Mahomes.
James going with Patrick Mahomes. E, are you still going to lock in with your boy?
A question about the sales of jerseys. Was that for the month, Gay Pride Month?
No, this is well, I don't know. This is the first, they do it in July when the teams are heading to training camp because that's the kickoff to gear
You
season.
think gay people buy football
I don't
jerseys?
know what he's talking about. I'm just trying to say, I don't know what that has to do with anything. E, are you still going with your boy Josh at number 2?
I thought that,
E, are you still going with your boy Josh at number 2?
Is he gay?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You're both wrong. Again, neither Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen are number 2. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey is the number 2.
Ooh. Oh, New York's excited about this, huh? Good for the Jets fans. You feel so sorry for them because they have so little to be excited about every year. And they got a reason to be excited now.
Well, he's a big he's a high profile, big national. He's going to sell jerseys from coast to coast. The Packers were a coast to coast team. People love the Packers all over the country.
Certainly.
All right, guys. Number 3, top selling NFL jerseys heading into training camp. We know that Jalen Hurts is number 1, and we know that Aaron Rodgers in the Jets uniform is number 2. But who's number 3, James?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. He's sticking with it. I like a boy who rides hard. E, how about you? You going to stick with your guy Josh Allen at number 3?
Yes.
And you'd both be wrong because number 3
Burrow
is a Dallas Cowboy.
Oh, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 3 is Micah Parsons.
Oh, that warms my heart that a defensive guy is that high.
Micah Parsons, third best selling jersey.
In football, I'm such a pro defense guy that it's one of the things that really chaps me about the Heisman is how many times I think a defensive guy really deserves it and they give it to some quarterback. So, yeah, defense is underrated in football like it is in most sports.
It is not a defensive era of football. It is not. There are only
no, and that's one of the big turnoffs about the NBA is when you lose a game 126 to 128, or
Let me give you the best example of what you're trying to say. The best defense in football last year was the San Francisco 49ers, and they got blown out. It doesn't matter. This is an offensive league, man. If the offenses can put up 45 points a game, your defense, you know what I mean? It's not exactly a defensive era. Right. All right, let's go with number 4. Number 4 top-selling NFL jerseys heading into this season. James, who are you going with at number 4?
Patrick Mahomes.
Still going with Patrick Mahomes.
What am I going to – you want me to Google this behind your back and get it right?
No. I love that you're playing fair. Yes, E, you have a question, or would you like to stick with Josh Allen?
The Jalen Hurts away jersey.
Come on, bro. This rolled into the number 1 pick.
What, are you sticking with Josh Allen at number 4?
Yes.
He is. You would be wrong. However, James Parker is finally right. Patrick Mahomes is the number 4 best-selling jersey in the NFL.
I know I'm 5 then.
All right. The number 5 best-selling jersey. We'll start with you, E. Who are you saying is the number 5?
I'm for sure it's Josh Allen. He's got to be in the top 5.
Got to be in the top 5.
No way he's not in the top 5.
James Parker, agree or disagree? Josh Allen.
Aaron Rodgers. Man.
Yeah, I would say the backup right tackle for the Detroit Lions is right above Josh Allen. But I would guess for the number 5 spot, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, you say. All right. Joe Burrow, James says, and James is wrong because he is correct. Josh Allen is number 5. Josh Allen is number 5. The top 5, Jalen Hurts at number 1, Aaron Rodgers at number 2, Micah Parsons at number 3, Patrick Mahomes at number 4, and Josh Allen at number 5. Number 6, James, who is the number 6 best-selling jersey in the NFL? Number 6.
I think it's our commenter here, Tiffany, who's going to be in Longview this weekend. She is the voice of Bulma from Dragon Ball Z.
It is not Tiffany. No. E, do you have a guess?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. No, that is not it. It is, in fact, Joe Burrow. Joe Cool of the Joe
That counts as a point for me, right?
No. Number 7.
Yes, before Tiffany.
Home stretch.
Okay.
Home stretch. Number 7. Who is the number 7 best-selling jersey in the NFL heading into this season? Number 7. Lucky number 7. Off the board, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Micah Parsons, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. Who's number 7?
Parsons did so good. I'm leaning into Dak Prescott for 7.
Dak Prescott, very good. E, do you have a guess at number 7?
Travis Kelce.
Ooh, bold.
Yeah, you're both wrong. Number 7 is my boy Justin Fields. Number 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 8. You got a guess? There's some big names still on the board out there. Some rookies. Rookie jerseys always sell big. I'm just saying. Number 8. Do we have a guess on the number 8 best-selling jersey in the NFL?
Why would I change from Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott. E, how about you? Number 8. Is Dak in the top 10? And is he number 8?
You know, with all Cowboy Nation
Mm-hmm.
and Micah Parsons being up there in what, top 3?
Top 3.
I'm going to say Dak is not in the top 10.
Ooh. Okay, do you have a guess at number 8? James is going with Dak. You're saying not Dak. You taking the field?
What's the Tua?
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, very good. You would both be wrong. Number 8. Come on, guys. Did you think this list was not going to include Tom Brady? Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Bucks jersey, still selling like hotcakes. Number 8 best-selling jersey.
But he doesn't play.
I know.
That just means that anything below that is really an insignificant amount of sales.
Number 9. No. This is a big selling jersey. I wouldn't say that makes. I think the top 10, maybe anything outside the top 10, is an insignificant number. But number 9, you guys got a guess on number 9?
Dak Prescott.
I've seen 2 of these already.
Oh, so this is a new guy.
Yep. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young. I've seen 2 kids in Bryce Young jerseys already. So
from Alabama.
Yeah. And number 10, guys, any guesses on number 10? You always got a little something for the white guys. Anybody have a guess?
Christian McCaffrey.
There you go. Number 10 best-selling jersey in the NFL is Christian McCaffrey. Number 9 is Bryce Young. Number 8 is Tom Brady. Number 7 is Justin Fields. Number 6 is Joe Burrow. Number 5 is Josh Allen. Number 4 is Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 is Micah Parsons. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform. And number 1, Jalen Hurts. There you go. Very good.
Very cool.
I thought that was fun. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to do a game show here, or anybody got something they want to chew the fat about?
Can we do fit in a who's is bigger?
Yeah, but we like to end the show with who's is bigger. So I like to jump onto that at like 55.
Give me the update on the Jonah Hill situation.
Oh, okay. E, have you been following the Jonah Hill situation?
Not at all.
Okay, so you know what? I don't think he knows. So Jonah Hill apparently, he was dating this girl who was a surfer.
Oh crap! He wasn't here yesterday. Do you even know the story
right
at
now?
all?
So I'm gonna nutshell it for him.
Yeah, do it.
So Jonah Hill was dating this surfer / model named Sarah Brady. Jonah Hill is in his 40s. Sarah Brady's 25 years old. She's very cute. California beautiful, right? Emerges from the water, no makeup, still gorgeous blonde, right? He wrote her some demands that he felt needed to be met in order for them to continue on in a relationship. Now, they've been out of a relationship now. They broke up a long time ago, but it was just over the weekend that Sarah Brady decided to let fly some of these text messages from her boyfriend at the time, Jonah Hill, and some of the demands that he was making of her. So here, I'll just read you the initial one that came through.
How long have they been dating?
I do not know how long they had been dating. I do not know, but it seemed like they were in a relationship. There's a lot of Google.
Are they living together?
That I don't know. They seem to both be people of means. So maybe she's sleeping at his house a lot. Maybe sometimes he's at her beach house. You know what I mean? I don't. They were. He's 43. She's 25. They're a Hollywood couple. They were dating. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to get an idea when somebody says a list of demands.
Right.
I mean, you would think you would have to be under the same
Okay, so here, let me give you
roof.
the list of demands. This is one of the list of demands that Jonah Hill made of Sarah Brady when they were dating, and she released these over the weekend. Jonah Hill sends, plain and simple, if you need, now remember, Sarah Brady is a professional surfer and model. Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, if you need to model, if you need to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, again, she's a surfer and a model. If you need to post sexual pictures, if you need friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, then if you need any of these things, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. All right, so that's what he was getting dragged for. He's a controller and a mind manipulator and all that stuff. James and I looked at it very differently last night, but do you have any thoughts on that? Him sending these list of demands to his former girlfriend when she was still his girlfriend.
Sounds like there's more to the story.
Well,
Yeah, but generally speaking, like, how do you feel about a guy sending a list of demands to a potential girlfriend? Because that seems to be the breaking point for a lot of people. Like, how dare he even ask? And I thought it was like, I thought his demands were ridiculous, but I also thought it was kind of mature and sort of a smart way to go to ask.
I don't. I didn't see his list as being ridiculous. I saw him as maybe being a little bit
and
insecure.
controlling, or to
Um,
control. She's a model. She's
I
a surfer
I
model.
could see
You
I
want her?
could see it being interpreted as being controlling, but there seems to be some lack of trust or loss of trust that's occurred based on some actions. What do you say, boundless or boundaryless
Yeah,
or
these are the boundaries that I.
no, but he said her actions with other male models or guys were like, it seemed like she just didn't have any limits or boundaries. And he wasn't down for that because I think his heart would be hurt if she acted that way, is what I kind of got from those demands.
All right, so that was all over the weekend. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. I think my take ended up being, I think he was just trying to break up with her. I think he knew that those were never going to be accepted, and this is a way for him to get out of the relationship without having to be the bad guy and going either ghosting her or having that weird, awkward face to face. Here are my demands. I know that you are not going to meet these demands, so I guess as I'm putting here in a very business-like way, we are done. It incidentally,
But it's a dude that's
right,
44 that's dating somebody that's
25. Hold,
25.
hold
So,
on,
I
hold on.
mean, he's not
Hey,
in touch.
Hold on. He's also a movie star, and that happens all the time. Although I do understand what you're saying. The very next girl that he got involved with, he has children with now. So, so he went the very next. I'm thinking he knew he wanted a kid. He was 40, so he's in his early 40s. He wants a kid. He knows he's getting older. He knew he didn't want a kid with this Sarah Brady, didn't know how to break up with her. That, look, if you just Google search their image, they're together a lot. Like they walked a lot of red carpets together. They were a very public couple in Hollywood. So I think maybe he just wanted to get out of this relationship. He knew he wanted a kid and knew he didn't want a kid with her. And that seems to be it. The very next woman that he fell in love with, he's now got 2 kids with. So, that's what I think. Is it controlling? Yes. Is he insecure? Absolutely. I take exception to the people who are like, I can't believe Jonah Hill has always been a dick. That's kind of his brand. Disingenuous, fast talking, a manipulator, very transactional. That's his whole bit. That's why we like him. That's why he's entertaining. But in real life, if that's truly who you are, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that he's a gutless.
But I don't see it as being a dick if she has no boundaries when she's around other dudes. That's like a girl that's not sleeping with you and sleeping with other people, and he's in a relationship with that and he doesn't want it to be that way anymore. I mean, I don't know that he's breaking up with her. I think he's just saying, "Hey, I thought we had something more than that, and if we don't, then I'm not your dude."
But our disconnect between what I think and what you think, E, on this is that I think that he knows that there's no way she will accept these demands. These are demands. He's saying this is what I need our relationship to be. James?
Yeah, so I went ahead and Googled it for Barney and Jeff, who were contesting the age of Jonah Hill. He is 39. He's not 43.
Oh, he's not.
Jeff
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Jeff and Barney get credit for
But
that.
still, the bell's going off at 39 versus the bell going off at
What's
25
the formula,
for kids.
though? What's the formula? He's 39. You take half his age, add 7. So half his age would be 20, 19 if you want to be generous. But no, let's give him the whole 19 then. Add 7, that's 26. He's barely under that, but
All
that
right.
counts.
Well, brings us to today's story. Keep that math in mind, James, because I'm going to need you to do a little bit.
No, he's not barely under, he's barely over.
So comes the
He's outside the boundaries. Did I
Right.
say that wrong? You got what I was saying, but you're right. I said it wrong. I said it backwards. He's outside the boundaries. I should say. Yeah. That's a legitimate point. Then the age difference is legit because it doesn't fit in the formula.
Right. And he's not in touch. Like, I think at this point, she's just like, hey, he's Jonah Hill. He's kind of my sugar daddy baby, but he's still old and I'm still young.
And but look, that being said, this is still the pinnacle of her relevance in her entire life. This is her 15 minutes of fame. No one's going to know her in 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years.
she might carve out a very nice career for herself. I mean, I don't know what the deal with surfers are, but I imagine if you're like at that highest level where you're partying and dating people like Jonah Hill, you're at the top of the surfer world. I don't know. Is that 6-7 figures a year? I don't know.
No. I don't think there's anywhere atop the surfer world that's above Jonah Hill.
No. I know, but that's not what we're saying. What I'm saying is, James is saying she'll be irrelevant, and I'm like, I don't know. She might, be at the top of the surfing game, and she might open a chain of surf.
But why is she dropping this now?
Well, I would name your favorite surfer of all time.
But like, why is it in the grease now? He's married. He's got kids. This seems like it happened years ago. Why are we finding out about it now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that helps the case any. I think the fact that he turned around and had kids with some other broad, and this just happened 6 months ago, is kind of sketchy.
But what's her point for releasing it?
There's more. There's more people releasing stuff. Comes today, another semi-quasi celebrity. This person I don't know. She was apparently a star on the show Zoe 101. Zoe 101 is like a Disney Channel kid show.
It was, yeah.
Zoe 101's Alexa Nicholas shares experience with Predator Jonah Hill while she was a 14-year-old teenager. Apparently, they were at a party together. She went to, this was Justin Long's party. Remember Justin Long? I don't know what he's doing.
I love Justin Long.
Well, Justin Long is inviting 14-year-olds to his Hollywood Hills parties because this.
I like Justin Long less now that I know he's inviting 14-year-old. Did he invite Justin Long?
It was Justin Long's party, and this 14-year-old girl was there. She was.
Wait. She says she was 16 when this happened.
Okay, there you go. I'm not reading it. I haven't pulled it up yet, but I thought she was
still 2 years short of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if she's on the set of some project.
Okay, I know what it was. I know where I got that. She had started on Zoe 101 at 14. And at 16, this was when she was going to this party. And Hill was 20, and Jonah was 24. She's 16.
Yeah, I hope you don't think I'm being nitpicky.
No.
I just know people are going to correct
No, that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate it. Okay, so she says that they were at this party together, and she decided that she needed a cigarette. She's like, I need a cig. And she started walking her way out of the party, and she bumped into Jonah Hill, who at that point, 24-year-old Jonah Hill, he was super bad kid. He was still fat, right? You got to imagine. I'm trying to think of what era of Jonah Hill was this? Was this before?
She's smoking though.
Yeah. Okay. So she bumps into him. She's like, I need to go find a cigarette. And he's like, oh,
does smoking matter? No, you're right. Smoking matters. Smoking matters.
So he
right.
says, well, she's a bad girl. She's a bad 16-year-old kid in
No.
the Hollywood.
No, but I'm going like, hey, if you're smoking,
girl.
you're portraying that you're 18.
You're at least 18. Like,
No,
how
she's
on
well,
earth-
she's from Zoe 101. He knew. Come on. These
No, I mean in terms of like if I'm like out in public
You're right.
smoking,
You're right.
I'm trying to make people think I'm at least 18.
However, I am looking at pictures of her, and James, you can pull them up too. I don't want to share them because it'll say, oops, you've met, I'll get that thing from Restream. Regardless of how old she was, she looked like she starred on a show called Zoe 101 that was watched by 12-year-olds, okay? She's not walking around like Pam Anderson. She looks like a child. She looks very young. Fair to say.
But if you're smoking in public as a child, you're trying to say you're 18.
Well, and you're trying to, you feel insecure about, there you go. Okay. There you go.
That's what you look like in the year of the story we're talking
I need
about.
a cigarette. Look, she looks like she's in junior high, man.
That's what she looked like the year this.
If I saw smoke rolling out of her nose and her mouth, I might think she's 18.
No way. She looks
12. Are you smashing that E? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying at 60, I ain't smashing anything 18. I'm just saying I could pass that for 18 if I saw it smoking.
All right. Oh, well, this is the woman. She says that she went out to Jonah Hill's car. He said he had smokes in his car. And as they were walking back to the house, he wouldn't give her a cigarette. And so she said, give me the cigarette. I walked out here with you. And that's when he shoved her up against the door and he shoved his tongue down her throat. There you go. That's the latest Jonah Hill Predator update.
Isn't that how you French kiss? At some point, somebody's got to be sticking a tongue somewhere.
Yeah.
Like somebody's a shover in a French kiss.
Some like innocent Zoe 101 kid.
Right. But I mean, like if you're not expecting a French kiss, that's the guy that's shoving.
Yeah.
Or the girl.
She said she was grossed out and she pushed him away and it was all embarrassing and all that kind of stuff. All right, before we get out of here, guys, let's move on. That's right. It's time for America's favorite game show. We play it every night here on the Radio Misfits. At the end of the show, we call it Whose is Bigger? I am, of course, your host, Pugs Moran. Today's contestants, as always, James Parker and E, the artist. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of Whose is Bigger? That's right. I totally blanked on the name. James, last night we played E. You missed last night's edition of Whose is Bigger. It was, what was last night's edition, James? Last night's Whose is Bigger category was Whose is Bigger? IRS debts to the federal government, where we picked two celebrities and you had to tell me who owes the federal government more in IRS.
Right, and there's not a whole lot of categories where the top choice is going to be Wesley Snipes and Willie Nelson, but this is one of them.
We pit Wesley against Willie. I don't remember how that turned out. Tonight's category, gentlemen, we always look for an interesting twist on a number. Whose is bigger, we ask. I've been obsessed with this. It seems that everybody in Hollywood comes from a rich family. It seems like if you make it in Hollywood, if you're a young star or a young musician or a young actor, your daddy is like a borderline billionaire. So tonight's edition of Who's It Bigger will concern daddy's checkbooks. Okay, I'm going to give you the names of some celebrities, and maybe you know this or maybe you don't, but they come with some daddies with some significant checkbooks. James, Emil, do you understand the rules of Whose is Bigger?
Basically, it's who's their daddy's money.
Yeah, whose is bigger? Daddy's bank accounts. All right. Who's got a richer daddy? All right. First.
So is there any reason it would be different than who's richer without going the daddy?
It's just, I don't know.
It's a bigger launch pad, sure.
I'm just interested in these celebrity kids who come from gilded backgrounds. I just think they have an advantage when they come out to Hollywood and they don't have to bust tables to make rent and they can go on every other. I'm just saying. So this little edition of Whose is Bigger will focus on celebrities whose parents are extremely wealthy. You may or may not know this. Are we ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Category 1. Well, acting. I'm going to give you the names of 2 very, very high-profile A-listers who came from silver spoon backgrounds. James, whose daddy's bank account is bigger? Emma Stone's or Bradley Cooper's? Emma Stone's or Bradley Cooper's?
Now, I would have guessed that both of them were from rich families because they just reek of people who hadn't worried about crap their entire life, and good for them. There's a certain glow that I've noticed with kids from rich families because they've never really had to worry about anything. So talk about just like an untainted pearl out of an oyster. But I am leaning Bradley Cooper for hair reasons.
Bradley Cooper. Whose daddy's richer? Whose is bigger? Is it Emma Stone's daddy's bank account or is it Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, I'm going Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Emma Stone is correct. Emma Stone's daddy, with a net worth of approximately $50 million, is the CEO.
That's a lot.
The CEO. What?
That's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like that's not a lot.
No, that's a lot. $50 million. Was he the CEO of Motorola or something?
He's
Damn.
CEO of the West Coast's largest commercial construction company. So, there's probably a little money in that.
I wouldn't know the name anyway, but clearly he's more successful than
Bradley Cooper's father. Bradley Cooper comes from a family worth an estimated $20 million. His father is a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch, and his mother ran NBC. His mother ran NBC. Apparently she was.
I did not know that.
Not either. All right, gentlemen, who's it?
Why are we trying? Why are we even here? Like, what chance do we have? None?
No. All right, here's one. This really drives it home. You want to talk old money. We ain't talking about the descendants of lottery winners. We are talking...
This Anderson Cooper?
No, money that goes even further than old Anderson Cooper. We're talking about old world money, James, that was then brought to this country. Gentlemen, whose is bigger? Talking about daddy's bank account. Julia Louis-Dreyfus or everyone's favorite replacement for Pam on The Office, Ellie Kemper. Ellie Kemper, the fabulous Kimmy Schmidt, or whatever that show is. Whose daddy's bank account is bigger? Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld and Veep, or Ellie Kemper from Kimmy Schmidt and The Office? Whose is bigger, James?
Okay, so Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I recently started watching that on Netflix because it's something that's like kid appropriate that I can watch with my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And it is way better than I expected from the promos. The promos for it sucked, but apparently Tina Fey's like the head writer, and it is shockingly good. However, I also remember this sweet little, prom queen looking broad getting wrapped up in some ancient old world blue blood debutante ball of some sort, like in St. Louis or something. And she like from the blue bloods of St.
Ellie Kemper's family is the wealthiest family in Missouri. Who's your pick?
Jesus Christ, more so than Patrick Mahomes? Yes. Okay. All right. Then give me Ellie Kemper.
Ellie Kemper over Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Whose is bigger? Daddy bank accounts.
I'm going with Julia.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Now, of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is a Dreyfus of the Dreyfus Fund, one of the largest and oldest mutual monster funds in all the world. The Dreyfus Fund was involved in the French Revolution, going all the way back to then. And the famous Dreyfus Affair is a descendant of Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Ellie Kemper, her family, as I said, the wealthiest family in Missouri. Maybe you've heard of the Kemper Arena. Ellie Kemper's family is worth... Wait, what did you say, James? Who did you say?
Yeah, I went with Kimmy Schmidt.
You went with Kimmy Schmidt. And who'd you go with?
Dreyfus.
Dreyfus is correct. The Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the Dreyfus family is worth an estimated between $5 and $10 billion.
Did you say B? Okay. What's their background? Because Richard Dreyfus is from this?
No, it's not Richard Dreyfus. No, he's not related. No, Alfred Dreyfus, the Dreyfus Affair. You can look that up. Big Jewish banking money in France during the Revolution. Anyway.
Well, how do you know Jerry
I don't know.
Seinfeld?
Ellie Kemper's family, banking and real estate, they own just about the entire state of Missouri. They are worth an estimated between $1 and $4 billion. So Julie Louis Dreyfus has
Well, I hate that how
bigger.
that paints her, because I think she actually is a good little actress and deserves merit, not based on her family background, because she's pretty
Who,
good.
Ellie Kemper? She's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love her. She's awesome. All right, gentlemen, let's move to the world of music. Let's move to the world of teen pop stars. Both of these gals have had countless hits, but they both come from fairly well-to-do backgrounds. Gentlemen, whose is bigger? The bank account of Ariana Grande's daddy or the bank account of Miley Cyrus's daddy? Gentlemen, whose is bigger?
If I'm going first, I'm going to lean Miley Cyrus because Billy Ray Cyrus got some of my money back when he was the first concert I ever attended at the Oil Palace in Tyler, Texas, and I don't know, 1993 or something. It was a double date with my sister and her boyfriend, who was a senior. So I was really cool. And I took Sarah Noble, and she was so impressed that she broke up with me and got back together with Clint like the next week. So screw those people.
So you're going with Miley Cyrus because
Yeah, all that was just say Miley Cyrus. Yes.
Dad
yes.
had a hit 40 years ago. E, who are you going with? The father of Ariana Grande or the father of Miley Cyrus? Who's
Well, I believe it's gonna be Ariana Grande because wasn't she Disney chick
She was.
at one point?
Yeah, she was.
Mhm.
She was, but what was her dad? Does that count for her? Oh, I guess her dad has to get her into
That's right.
Disney. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Well, I mean, Miley was Disney too.
Okay, so who did you go with, E? You're going with Ariana?
I'm going with Ariana Grande because Miley did the Disney route too, and the fact that you're putting her up against Miley,
it's the
who
unknown.
Miley would
It's
be.
the unknown.
Miley, you would think of the dad.
We know where Miley came from. The unknown is Ariana Grande. And Ariana Grande's dad is worth $100 million. He is the president of a communications firm that he began all the way back in 1980. Of course, Miley Cyrus's dad is a big old hillbilly who had a hit like 40 years ago. He is worth an estimated $20 million. $20 million versus $100 million. All right. Whose is bigger? This is an interesting one. This is more old money. Whose is bigger, gentlemen? Famed television comedian and one of my favorite guys. Nick Kroll's dad?
Oh, I love that dude
Or-
from the league. Yeah, Rodney
Or
Ruxin.
Anderson Cooper? Whose family has more? Who came from bigger money? Whose daddy has a bigger bank account? Nick Kroll or Anderson Cooper? James, do you have a guess?
Bro, first off, Nick Kroll's character in the league, Rodney Ruxin,
Best.
is one of the. It's like, I mean, they are competing with just a small group of characters that are amazing. I'm talking about like Lilith from Cheers, Rodney Ruxin.
All right, take your guess.
But I know Anderson Cooper's background. He's from the Vanderbilt clan.
Yep, his mom is Gloria
Yeah,
Vanderbilt.
so I would I would lean Anderson Cooper, but I don't know Nick Kroll's background. I mean, the only background I know of him is the episodes where Jeff Goldblum comes in and plays his dad, which is hilarious.
I'll tell you this:
Anderson
Nick
Cooper.
Kroll was driven to school every single day of his life in a stretch limousine. E, do you have a guess for who?
I do.
Anderson Cooper.
Kroll.
Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll is correct. Anderson Cooper's family wealth, $700 million. That's old. There hasn't been a relevant Vanderbilt in like 50 years. That's old. You know what I mean? Nick Kroll's family, $1 billion. $1 billion.
What the hell does his family
I
do?
think his father is a jewel importer. Like he's one of the biggest jewelry and rare gems importers in America. He's like,
Why are you bagging on the Jews like
I'm not.
that?
How am I? What?
I'm offended. Bro.
All right,
I'm
guys.
so offended.
How about this one? A couple of, I'm serious, maybe with the exception of Beyonce, who might have an argument here, the two biggest recording stars of our time. Whose is bigger? And we're talking about daddy's net worth. Whose is bigger? Taylor Swift's or Lady Gaga's? Taylor Swift's daddy's net worth or Lady Gaga's daddy's net worth? James?
Man, I feel stupid now because I didn't know either one of them were for money.
They both are.
You know, I assume like if you're a pop star, you might be from some money. Like my dad owns a dealership, but we're way past that when we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. So now no idea. I would guess I really nothing. I've got nothing. So this is just a 50-50 shot in the dark. Give me Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga for James. E, do you have a guess? Who grew up in greater wealth? Whose daddy has more money, Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift?
I'm gonna go with Gaga.
Gaga. You would both be correct. The Upper West Side penthouse dwelling, born and raised. Something Germano. Yes, her family, Lady Gaga's family, is worth an estimated $50 million. Taylor Swift's father worth an estimated $25 million. Before, of course, Taylor Swift she's about to be a billionaire. Taylor Swift is about to go over the billion mark. She's about to go what is it? The numbers on this tour that she's doing are absolutely insane. Anyway, 300 million or something on this tour alone in her pocket.
Dude, how many nights in a row did she just pack the AT&T Stadium? Like 4 nights in a row or something?
And and in a couple of months it'll be Lady Gaga's turn to do it, or whatever. I mean, there's they rotate a couple of these people.
People like to bag on trust fund kids as they're just entitled.
Yeah, that's me. I like
it. Yeah, you do, and a lot of them are like the kids in Succession, and that's why we enjoyed that show so much. But Lady Gaga could have easily been a Roman Roy, but she is an amazing piano player, and she's a good singer. But even if you have like the natural talent, you don't get to be that good at piano unless you put in thousands of hours of practice. And so she's not just some idiot who is skated by on daddy's money. But she has some legit talent, and she legit developed it, and she legit put in the time. And of course, like my kids who put in the same amount of time won't have the same windows of opportunity that she does. But she's not talentless. She's not a hack.
All right, let's move on. The last one. Here's the final one for today's edition of Whose is Bigger? Daddy's Bank Account edition. Whose is bigger? The bank account of Edward Norton's father, or the bank account of disgraced Hollywood actor Armie Hammer? Armie Hammer's family or Edward Norton's family? Whose is bigger, James?
Oh, why you start? See, again, I'm an idiot. I don't know either one of these dudes' backgrounds. I have a shocking low interest in celebrity.
Well, hold on. Stop. You don't know Armie Hammer is the grandson of Armand Hammer, the world's foremost industrialist and one of the most powerful men.
Baking soda. The baking soda giant.
Arm and Hammer. It was named after him, but no, Armand Hammer was a diplomat and a world leader and a billionaire and an industrialist.
Well, okay, so this is embarrassing for me, but I'm just learning this for the first time, and apparently everyone in the comment section knows more than me about freaking baking soda.
It's nothing to do with baking soda. The baking soda was named after him.
I was trying to throw him off.
Look! I'm 46, and I just learned like Arm & Hammer baking soda wasn't just some name they pulled out of their ass. They named it after a dude. So tell me about the dude they named it after. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Okay. Armand Hammer. All right. Anyway, okay. So
the baking soda.
No. Fine. The baking soda fortune. There you go. If that works for you, that's fine. That's where he got.
There's another dude named Armand. And his last name's Hammer?
Armand Hammer. Yes. Look him up. You'll see.
French guy.
But this isn't the actor Armie Hammer, because I thought this was the guy who's taking on like a radio
This
name.
is the French family that came up with baking soda, unlike the Polish family that came up with powder.
No, they didn't. No,
they had baking powder. The French had baking soda.
What did Armand Hammer make his money in? It wasn't baking soda, right? Or potash or any of that.
Steel and shipping, I believe. Yes, I believe he was a steel magnate.
But the Polish version of them, they had baking powder.
What's the Polish shit? He's making this up.
I swear to God, you guys.
See him smiling? He's doing that. He just did his eyebrows. We're fine. Go ahead. Tell me who's.
All right. Shut up, everybody. Okay. Armand Hammer was an American business manager and owner, most closely associated with Occidental Petroleum, a company he ran from 1957 until his death. Called Lenin's chosen capitalist by the press, he was also known for his art collection and his close ties to the Soviet Union. Hamer's business interests around the world, he was so important because he was sort of the back channel between the White House and the freaking Soviet Union. He was the guy that could talk.
Is that why the hammer's on the
And that's
box? Is that like the
to
Russian?
do with baking soda.
You said Russia. They have a hammer.
Yeah, and the Soviet thing is a sickle and a hammer, and Amel's actually pretty astute in pointing out that that's half of the communist icon is the sickle and hammer, arm and hammer. It was the same dumb looking hammer. It's not like a claw hammer that you have in your toolbox. It was.
Okay. Are you guys done? That's Arm & Hammer's family. Edward Norton's family, all right? Edward Norton, the actor, Edward Norton. Edward Norton's family, whether you know.
He invented the software.
Yes, there you go. Exactly. Let's just get the hell through this game. They invented the Norton software. Go ahead. Let's keep going. James, whose is bigger? The bank account of Edward Norton's father, who incidentally the Nortons settled and built and developed the city of Baltimore. Okay, that's what the Nortons are. The Norton family, that's where Edward Norton comes from.
Before they did the antivirus stuff?
Yes, long before the antivirus stuff, they founded and became these big, like, first citizens of.
Are they legit the antivirus people?
I'm going with the antivirus people. Give me Norton and based solely on the antivirus fact.
I don't even remember where we are. Okay, you know what? You know whose family is bigger? Edward Norton's.
Antivirus guys, that was right.
Edward Norton's family is worth an estimated $500 million. Armie Hammer, at this point, a paltry $15 million.
That's a lot of money.
And getting his ass kicked by Ukraine.
All right, goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We do this every Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Radio Misfits, radiomisfits.com for all your podcast and live streaming needs. James, how about Florida Stories? Tell people about that.
Yeah, if you download Florida Stories, it'll probably save your failing marriage because I've been listening in to some of your conversations and I'm really getting depressed. And I think y'all could pull it out if you just spend a little more time invested into the greatness that is Florida Stories.
Yeah, I just noticed something. We never see E without a hat on. And like now we're seeing him like, doesn't E look like he plays bass in like a bar band?
He looks like he ordered Kenny G on Wish.
Look at him. Look at him. He's got like 60-year-old guy who plays bass in the pizza pub hair. It's real good.
I don't think he finds this very complimentary.
We keep bringing him back. He doesn't like it. Well, I don't think I've seen him without a hat in 2 years. That is crazy. Look at that glorious mane. Oh my God. All right, there he goes.
Because he's 60 and I have more gray hair than he does.
I know. I don't think he dyes it.
He doesn't.
I don't think
he's
so.
just a dick. A well-aging dick.
We're out of here. Say goodbye, James.
Goodbye, James.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock for more Radio Misfits right here, streaming Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time. See you tomorrow for high noon. Bye, everybody. Quest.